Dan, how long have you been doing clinics?
I've been doing clinics. I started doing school clinics in about 2002. It was, about 2002, doing school clinics, and then some New Jersey state conferences, and then now I started doing the Sam Ash stores. And there's a Sam Ash on Route 4. Anyone ever go there? Joe's been, I know Joe, I saw you there, Joe. No, I'm just kidding. But I can tell you, I can see you going there. You're into it. Questions?
Some of the famous drummers.
Famous drummers? Famous drummers I met. I'm friends with some of them. I've studied with some of them. Who I encourage you to check out is Joe Morello, one of the greatest drummers, jazz drummers. I took some lessons with Joe. Sometimes, we hang when Joe's playing. We hang out at the restaurant he's playing at. Great guy. It's like a history book. Joe Morello, that's one guy to really research. He's a legendary drummer and teacher. A lot of his hand stuff is passed down from him and George Lawrence Stone, who was his teacher. George Lawrence Stone wrote Stick Control in 1935. So Joe Morello, Jim Chapin's another one. I studied with Jim Chapin. Actually, I only took one lesson with Jim Chapin, but I studied his books and his videos. Don Famularo has been a drum coach of mine for about 8 years. He's one of the most famous drummers. They call him Drummond's Global Ambassador because that is what he does. He travels the world, sometimes 200 flights a year, all different countries, and he does clinics. Other famous drummers, well, Brad Arnold, Three Doors Down, is a friend. There's that Mike Clark's a friend of mine. He was Herbie Hancock's drummer. He's one of the most sampled drummers in hip hop. Prince has used his drum sound, and there's a bunch of other drummers too. That's what I remember off the top of my head. Drummers are a very humble bunch, There are a lot of good drummers, good guys out there. It's good questions. What's your name?
James.
Good questions. Okay. Any more questions? Drumming questions? Anything? That's another thing. Just to have music in your life is such a great thing to have. Trust me, to have music in your life, even if it's on the side, is great. To play an instrument, especially drums, you get to hit something and let your frustration out a little bit. It's good to have. There's a man named Ilchi Lee. He was actually just recognized by Mayor Bloomberg. You ever hear Mayor Bloomberg in New York? Ilchi Lee talks about the power of rhythm and drumming. And now they created Brain Education Day in New York based on principles such as that. It's good for us to have rhythm in our life.